Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
So this is one more hurdle that we have that other employers don't to attract and retain employees.
We begin tonight with concerns from businesses, organizations, and programs that offer services to children and teenagers. They're worried about new regulations for their employees.
They say it's taking too long for fingerprint-based background checks and that it's hurting their business. Valley News Team's Maddie Joseph explains.
The federal background check requirements that were implemented on October 1st state that all employees working in a child care center has to get a fingerprint-based background check. Plus,
you need to have the fingerprint process completed before staff can work with kids. In the past, they were allowed to work with kids as long as they were supervised by somebody who had a completed background check.
Nelson says this, along with the turnaround time for fingerprinting, is a huge issue for child care services.
We just need the turnaround time to be workable so we can have employees and serve these families that need care so they can go to work.
She says she personally expects results to come back within 72 hours and claims to do that more money needs to be thrown at the problem.
We need some adequate funding and staffing at CBCU, Criminal Background Check Unit at the state level.
But one of the people in charge of background checks in North Dakota says there's no problem. Tara Reed says the average turnaround time for when the department gets a complete application to when they send out a memo is approximately 3 weeks.
The length of time that it's taking for those initial background check results going back to providers at this point is the quickest it has been in my tenure with the department.
She also said these fingerprint-based background checks are a very detailed process that involves other agencies.
Once our requests leave our office, we do not have any control governing the turnaround time for the other agencies that we're working with.
A background check for something else, like a weapons permit, doesn't verify for the same information childhood care employment needs, which is why those services needs a new background check done. In Fargo, Maddie Joseph, Valley News Live.
Despite concerns, our investigation found that North Dakota is, in fact, in compliance with the childhood services regulations that went into effect on October 1st.
We're following a developing story from Kennedy Elementary in South Fargo. The school went into lockdown this morning 2 separate times. While the school district hasn't released exactly what prompted the lockdowns, a Valley News Live viewer says it was because of an unruly student. The district did say some staff members needed medical attention after the 2 lockdowns, and that there was at least one other lockdown earlier this week that the district says was student-related. Stick with Valley News Live for more information on this story as it develops.
The good news is that the forecasted snow for the FM area slid to the south. The bad news is that cold temps did not. Hutch is here, getting rowdy over in the weather center, the banging and everything, to let us know about the weather.
Sorry, I dropped my clicker. I think I've butterfingers tonight. All right, yes, the snow is taking place down to the south of the FM area. We'll stay south of the I-94 corridor for the most part. A little bit of snow flaky activity between Jamestown and Bismarck. South of the South Dakota border is now where the heaviest bands are continuing. And numerous reports south of Bismarck and in parts of northern South Dakota of 2 to 5 inches of snow already. Snow continues this evening to press south in those far southern counties. Here's a look at I-29 near Sisseton. So take it slow in that general direction. Your forecast shows gusty north winds will usher in mighty cold air. Temperatures in the single digits for tailgaters first thing in the morning. A chilly weekend ahead. I'll have details on that here in a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
A charge has been filed against a man from Becker County in connection to a death in Audubon, Minnesota earlier this week. 29-year-old Michael Ray Mason is charged with second-degree murder without intent. Police were called to a home at 390 Eagle Street in Audubon on Tuesday after shots were reportedly fired. The name of the man that died in the incident still has not been released.
Medical examiners are trying to ID the victim of a deadly car train crash in the Southern Valley. The Wilkin County Sheriff's Office says the driver of an SUV died in a crash with a train at a crossing near Doran, Minnesota, south of Breckenridge, yesterday morning. The victim's vehicle burst into flames after impact. Roads were icy at the time, but it's not clear if that was a factor in the crash.
Time for a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 39-year-old Dusty Joe Cairo is wanted for a probation violation on a robbery charge and also for theft, shoplifting, and possession of marijuana. Call your local law enforcement agency if you have any information on her whereabouts.
The holiday season brings more parties and more outings to our social calendar, meaning more opportunities for drinking and later trying to get home. Ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft have been in the area for a few years now. It was hoped they would be options to cut down on drunk drivers on the road, but statistics say that hasn't happened everywhere in the valley. Police say sometimes riders are forced to wait a few extra minutes, and when it's winter, they see more problems.
We found people were waiting for a half hour, an hour, and a lot of times the bar obviously wanted them out, so there'd be people outside, and after a while people were just cold and fed up with waiting, and they would, make the decision to take their own ride home, a lot of times drive, or have their friend who also had been drinking drive.
There were 784 DUI arrests in Clay County in 2004, 418 in 2015. 72 people died from drunk driving-related accidents versus 129 in 2008. Here are some stats from West Fargo. Last year, there were 160 DUI arrests, and this year, as of November 5th, there have been 197.
A hero's welcome out at Hector International Airport as 12 soldiers from the 1st Battalion, 188th Air Defense Artillery Regiment returned to Fargo today. The soldiers were stationed in Washington, D.C. on a mission of protecting the airspace in the nation's capital. Most of the soldiers returned in February, but the soldiers returning today volunteered to remain on duty in D.C. for an extended period of time and ended their mission this month.
When you're thinking about serving your country and all the things that you could do to serve your country, I feel like being there to serve in your nation's capital to help protect the nation is pretty awesome.
The soldiers helped in Operation Noble Eagle that took place around the D.C. area.
When it comes to body art, the scene is changing. Artists tell us that tattoos are growing in popularity, and the customers they're inking up are more diverse.
Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz tells us how the city of Fargo is updating its ordinances to better fit the expanding tattoo market.
Trent Balvich owns Addictions Tattoo in Fargo. In his 20-plus years in the body art biz, he says he's seen the ink industry grow.
It's still rocketing forward really fast. Advertisements on TV, sports people, music videos.
Balvich says lately he's drawing more mother-daughter tattoos.
It wasn't just a certain type or certain people getting tattooed. It was everybody. It was art.
In fact, he says about 75% of his customers are women. He's also seeing more professionals.
Doctors, lawyers, nurses, engineers.
And over at FargoCast Public Health, practitioner Brad Schneider says his 2 teen daughters got matching tattoos with sentimental value.
With the growth and the popularity of tattooing recently, we just decided we wanted to take another look at the code.
That's why Fargo's updating its city codes on body art. A glance at Monday's upcoming city commission agenda appears to show many changes in the body art ordinances. But Schneider says all they're really doing is adopting more of the state law. So what does that mean? Basically just a couple major changes, like requiring bloodborne pathogen training.
It teaches you use needles, how to properly dispose of biohazards.
Schneider says most artists here in Fargo already have it anyway. In other cases, the amendments will give a bit more leeway. As of right now, Fargo requires each artist to use his own hand sink.
The state code actually says you have to have one for 3 artists, so we're going to go back to that.
Overall, public health and body artists say it'll help reassure customers.
Anything that'll help improve people's, perception of what the industry is doing.
As marking one's skin becomes more and more mainstream. In Fargo, Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live.
The amendments are still in the first stage of review. Its next review will be at the beginning of December and could take effect by the end of the year.
Former Minnesota Supreme Court Justice and NFL Hall of Famer Alan Page received a Presidential Medal of Honor today, the country's highest civilian honor. President Trump cited Page's athletic accomplishments while highlighting his judicial career and charitable work through the Page Education Foundation, which has helped students of color since the 80s.
Don't put a collar around the dog's neck. Later on Valley News Live at 6, why this one deserves a medal.
Up next, are you a light, moderate, or heavy drinker? Which is good for you and which are bad?
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News Live. You're watching Valley News Live on KVLY, your hometown NBC station.
An actor always prepares, and I am an actor.
Hello.
All right, I've been working, but I believe my instrument is ready.
Great, because you would play Dr. Farts.
Yeah, but Dr. Farts can't stop burping.
I love it!
Here's why NBC is a Thanksgiving tradition.
Do you have a commercial driver's license? Are you looking for a job with great pay and excellent benefits for you and your family? Then join the team building the Trans-Canada Keystone XL pipeline. Teamsters Local 346 is recruiting Class A CDL drivers across North and South Dakota. If you are at least 21 years of age and have a CDL, we want to talk to you. For more information, please call 218-628-1037 or visit teamsterslocal346.com.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. This U-Tile shower kit looks like real tile without the hassle. $1677.65 after sale price and 11% off. Get new Tarkett sheet vinyl. The Vibe collection is 88 cents a square foot after sale price and 11% off. The Garrison collection is 106 a square foot after sale price and 11% off. Stop waiting and start saving with 11% off everything. Now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
You finally did it. You invited both sides of the family over. One table, 12 people. This could get interesting, but you can handle this. You were built for this. Ford Explorer, built for the holidays.
Now, get over $5,000 in total savings or lease a 4x4 Explorer for just $259 a month. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer today.
Tonight's news is brought to you by Casey's General Store.
Welcome back. How bad is alcohol for you? Well, it depends on the study. While one finds even light drinking could increase your chance of dying, other studies have found moderate alcohol consumption is good for some people. A recent analysis of studies on this topic found that there really isn't a right or wrong answer. Some studies found that heart benefits from not drinking, like an increase in the HDL cholesterol, which is considered the good kind. Other researchers found that health risks, including increased risk of breast cancer and high blood pressure. University of Minnesota cardiologist says that people should also consider the calories in an alcoholic drink. Her recommendation is less than 7 drinks per week for women and less than 14 drinks per week for men.
An ongoing salmonella outbreak has prompted a recall of one brand of ground turkey. Jenny O Turkey has recalled 91,000 one-pound packages. The 4 varieties were all produced on September 11th of this year with use-by dates of October 1st and 2nd. Even though we are past those dates, concerns are that the products could be in home freezers. So if you have any, you should throw it away. This is the first recall tied to what the U.S. Department of Agriculture describes as a widespread salmonella outbreak. There have been 164 reported illnesses and 1 death in 35 states.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, where you can go this weekend for some early holiday shopping.
Flaky weather continues this Friday night, mainly down to the south. As this system exits, we are ushering in some mighty cold air for the weekend ahead. Hour by hour details in your forecast are straight ahead.